Hey guys, it's Destiny, and our newest 5-star Argenti is here, and he's ready to conquer all of the enemies in his way. I'll be giving you all the rundown on Argenti, what he brings to the table, teams, and much more. If you guys enjoy videos like these, don't forget to subscribe, and also leave a like if you'd like to receive a rose from Argenti. I know I definitely would, but now, without further ado, let's get straight into the review.
Argenti of the Honor class swears to you, the beauty is eternal.
To start with what Argenti does, he is a physical erudition character whose goal is honestly to delete all the enemies on the field. Argenti has ways to increase his own energy he gets back depending on how many enemies are on the field, the more the merrier. And he also gains a stack of Apotheosis, which increases his crit rate, and this stacks up to 10 times. Argenti's traces also help him out with this since he'll be able to start off the battle with 1 stack, regenerate energy to himself when enemies enter battle, and also deal more damage to enemies that are below 50% health. And his sub-traces increases physical damage, attack, and maximum health. This definitely makes him a powerhouse with how strong Argenti can be. The main thing that makes him stand out though is that he can store double his ultimate. So instead of using his ultimate at 90 energy, he can use it at 180. And I'll have this little special glow as you can see here. This lets Argenti deal far more damage as the multipliers are higher on his 180 energy ultimate, and also he hits enemies additional times when he does this ultimate as well. Now that we've gotten the basics of Argenti's kit out of the way, I wanted to go over teams and rather teammates I love using with Argenti. The first combination is Tingyun and Argenti. This is basically, honestly, bread and butter with how good they are together. Tingyun is able to increase Argenti's attack, damage, and also give him energy with her ultimate. The energy is definitely one of the best perks, since the additional energy is super helpful for getting Argenti's 180 energy ultimate faster to deal a bunch of damage on the field. Another teammate I really like with Argenti if we are looking at sustains is Huohuo, since she could be the sustain of the team and also increase his attack and energy, so with Tingyun, it'll make for a pretty nice energy party. Argenti benefits from most of our buffers and debuffers since he'll appreciate the defense drops on enemies with Kayla. Silver Wolf Hanya is great for advancing Argenti forward to use his skill more often, which allows him to get his ultimate faster. Hanya is also a great option if you equipped her with this light cone to give Argenti more damage increases. So there's definitely a lot of combinations you can use with Argenti for sure. And I like doing a double buffer or debuffer and buffer plus sustain team with Argenti, since Argenti fits the role of being a hyper carry very, very well. So it's honestly up to you on which buffers and debuffers you have, and as long as they work nicely with Argenti, which honestly majority of them practically do, it's pretty easy to make a team with him. And when it comes to playing Argenti, I mainly recommend having your buffers and debuffers faster than him, so that they can debuff the enemy and buff Argenti as much as possible so that when it is his turn, he will deal, of course, as much damage as possible. I primarily use his skill all the time since it will deal damage to all enemies and can help him get his ultimate faster since he'll be able to get more energy from using his skill. And I also primarily only use the 180 energy ultimate, since the multipliers and additional hits from that ultimate 100% make up for holding onto your energy, and it's really smooth sailing when using Argenti, since all you really have to pay attention to from my experience is how much energy he has, and to ensure that of course he gets all of his crit rate stacks, which from my experience is pretty easy to do.
Argenti of the Honor class swears to you, the beauty is eternal.
So when it comes to building Argenti, I recommend the Streetwise Boxing set for the physical damage and attack increases. A 2-piece Streetwising and 2-piece Musketeer combo can also work if you have leftover Musketeer pieces and you don't have enough physical pieces. Or you could also, I guess, do 4-piece Musketeer if you just don't have any physical pieces at all. For your planars, I highly recommend Inert Salsotto since your Argenti should be able to get to that 50% crit rate requirement pretty easily for the increased ultimate damage. You can also do Rootlet as well if you prefer higher skill damage, and the requirement becomes 70% crit rate at that point. You could also do Space Sailing Set, which is for a 24% attack increase, and honestly there's quite a few options you could do for your planar sets on Argenti. When it comes to his main stats, crit damage body piece is preferred to take advantage of the crit rate he gives himself to have a high crit rate and crit damage ratio. But if you're still lacking a good amount of crit rate, then you can opt for a crit rate body piece instead, and just try to get as much crit damage substats as possible. For boots, I recommend speed the most and would attempt to get 134 speed if possible, as that's a nice sweet spot for a lot of DPS characters. If you get enough speed substats though, or have party members with, for example, stance, or speed buffs, then you could try to go for attack boots instead, and test them both out and see which one you like more. For the sphere, it'll be physical damage, and lastly the rope, I'd recommend energy rope the most to get as much energy as possible. You want that energy party, guys, trust me. But if you don't have an energy rope, a secondary option could be attack rope. Lastly, for substats, I recommend crit rate, crit damage, attack, and speed the most for a super offensive Argenti build. As for light cones, Argenti has quite a few options. The top recommendations would be his signature light cone, as this light cone takes advantage of his high ultimate cost and also gives him crit damage. For battle pass users and people who do purchase it, I'd recommend Today's Another Peaceful Day, as it has similar effects to the signature light cone as it benefits the damage of high ultimate cost users. Excluding that nice crit damage bonus though. The Seriousness of Breakfast is a great free-to-play option for those who don't have many Erudition light cones. And my last three recommendations would be Make the World Climber, which can be nice for the increased ultimate damage, Genius's Repose, which can be nice for increasing attack, and also the crit damage buff for 3 turns when you defeat enemies. Before Dawn is good for crit damage increase of that 36%, and the skill and ultimate damage increases. But do keep in mind, since Argenti does not have follow-up attacks, unfortunately, he can't take advantage of that secondary effect of the light cone. But now that we've gone over the essentials of Argenti, what teams I like him on, partners, it's time to discuss the pros and cons and ultimately his value. So think of this as the before you pull segment of the review. Argenti is an extremely powerful DPS character who could definitely rival our current top contenders on terms of damage depending on the scenario. Argenti is amazing at AoE damage and is definitely a great option for those who need a new damage dealer, especially if you need a strong physical AoE damage dealer, as many of us don't have Clara as an option. When it comes to his playstyle, it's pretty straightforward, although I do wish there was a bit more to his kit when it comes to what he does in battle. I definitely love his design, so when it comes to, I guess, my review of Argenti, here's what I rate him based on playstyle, damage potential, and just value overall for what role he plays, which for a main DPS, that is what I'm ranking him on for your account. And lastly, when it comes to E1 or light cone, if you guys have Today's Another Peaceful Day, which is that battle pass light cone, and possibly super impositions on it, then I would recommend the E1 more, since you can use that light cone and then the E1 for that crit damage increase when you get your stacks. If you do not have Today's Another Peaceful Day though with super impositions, then I would recommend going for the light cone instead. That'll be all though for my review on Argenti. Let me know what you guys think about him. Do you guys plan to pull him, skip him, and overall, what's your thoughts on him? Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys have any questions, make sure to let me know down below. If you guys enjoyed this video though, make sure to subscribe for more, and I hope all of you have a nice one like always. Peace.